Alright, I test fitted the motor in the car. It sits a little high. It won't test fit motor and trans together. So I had to just do just the motor. I need the motor to get dropped lower. So this is the oil pan off the 350. Just a standard oil pan. Chevrolets, the old 350s did not come with different, for what I've been told from the engine guy, that the only time they ever came with a different pump is 63 and 64 Impala with a 283. I don't feel like looking for one, so this is what we got. I'm going to modify this oil pan. As you can see, the clearance is because there's a baffle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this oil pan, screw it down to a couple sheets of plywood so it doesn't go anywhere, and right about here, where this is the shallowest point of it, I'm going to cut it about here. Well, I'm going to cut it right about here. Cut a pie out of it to here, down to here. Well, a little bit closer to here. And I'm going to have from here to here the same height as here. So all this will be straight across, so I get more room to lower the motor in the engine bay. Now, it's going to take a quart or two of oil out. So what I'm going to do on this side is I'm going to cut a section out here and build a little sheet metal box off, so it sticks out a little forward, kind of more like a race pan. You can buy these oil pans. You can buy the oil pans pre-made like that, but some of them are pretty pricey. The average somewhere between $200 to $300. That's half the cost of what I paid for the car itself. The motor was free. Trans was $200. So we're going to, it's literally as cheap as just for fun here to see how far we can go with, well, I'd like to say we're trying to quit at $1,000 bucks, but we're getting pretty close to that. So, but mainly just salvaging a lot of other vehicles and putting into this to build something stupid. I know it's a little weird to use an old school 350, but once again, it was free. My father-in-law gave it to me. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take this baffle out. In order to do it, the way this baffle was attached is electronically welded with a spot welder. As you can see, the darker spots, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. And there's a few on the front. All I'm going to do is take the grinder with a cut-off wheel and just grind down in them to get this baffle out. there's all the baffle out. Now we're going to screw down to this. So I'm going to screw down to here. Alright, so I made the first piece. You see, it wasn't much, cut with a grinder. All it's cut out, what I did is measure from the mating surface to the top of this, which was 4 inches. Then I took 4 inches here and cut off the line, so it gave me another 1/8 just in case to play with. So, basically all I did was put it up, measure it down. I originally put it here and traced it, and then since this piece gets wider here, just widen the arch on either side. Now I'm going to go ahead and start tacking this thing in place. Alright, I already measured and then cut and then put this in the roller, rolled it. One side's a little bit tighter than the other to fit on here because this is a tighter bend than this one. I opened it up just because the oil pan is wider on the back. So I'm going to tack it in here, then start it, and then just keep working my way with the hammer. So go ahead and clean it all off, get my welder ready. Alright, as you can see, we're in the clouds now. Get the door, we're going to get the door open, air it out. It's getting pretty hot in here. So, everything's welded up. I'm going to clean it up with a wire brush once I find it. And let it cool off for a little while. And check. What I'll do is take it off and fill it up to check for leaks. Once I'm good, and I know it doesn't leak, go ahead and finish scuffing it up. Hit it with some black primer. I got some black hammer tone paint around here. That stuff sticks pretty well and stays on pretty well. So then we'll be able to reinstall it back on the motor and fit the motor. While this is cooling off, and then go ahead and paint it. That'll be it for the day. Alright, I had one problem spot right here where it just, no matter what I did, it kept leaking and kept leaking, so I grinded it down and welded it, and then grinded it and welded it, and finally got it to stop leaking. So, there's no more leaks in this thing. I went ahead and put 2 coats of black primer on here. It's Rust-Oleum black primer. I already test fitted it So it's good to go. I'll get this installed on the motor. That's it for this episode.